You didn't arrive here by accident. Something unseen, call it resonance, call it design, has been weaving this encounter long before your conscious mind could name it. You are standing in the interval between worlds, where the old self still echoes, but the new one has already begun to breathe, and yet the world around you hasn't caught up. You feel it, don't you? That strange pause where everything inside has transformed, but the mirror of life refuses to move. This is the latency, the sacred delay between command and appearance, the space where miracles are engineered in silence. You may have felt the surge of certainty, that flash of knowing when every cell in your body whispered, "It's done." You held that frequency like a secret flame, only to open your eyes and find the same walls, the same ceiling, the same unchanging horizon staring back. But what if this stillness isn't betrayal? What if it's construction? Imagine the universe as an invisible city at work behind the curtain of your perception. Bulldozers of light clearing old neural blueprints, cranes of consciousness lifting new timelines into position. And you, the architect, misread the silence as delay when in truth, it was proof that your request was too vast for instant delivery. Consider this: latency is proportional to magnitude. The more seismic the shift, the deeper the silence that precedes it. You're not being ignored, you're being prepared. Every day that feels still is actually alive with movement in dimensions your eyes can't perceive. So breathe. The pause you dread is the pulse of birth. The absence of evidence is the evidence itself. You are in the paradox. Friend, the moment before collapse, where one timeline dies so another can take form. Right now, your job is not to force, but to listen. The universe has already pressed build. Your only task is to hold the signal steady. And if you can do that, if you can remain unmoved in the stillness, you'll feel it, the hum rising beneath your ribs, the soft tremor of the new reality assembling itself, piece by luminous piece. And from that hum beneath your ribs, the silence stretches outward wide, heavy, deceivingly empty. You begin to mistake it for abandonment, but that's because you've never truly heard what silence sounds like when the universe is working overtime. Beneath that hush, there is a frenzy of rearrangement. The ground of your old timeline is being excavated. The beams of obsolete identity are being torn out. You may look around and think, nothing's happening. But the truth, everything's happening all at once, just not where your senses can track it. The latency isn't laziness, it's quantum logistics. When you asked for transformation, you didn't file a request for new wallpaper, you demanded a rebuild from the foundation up. The cosmos heard that vibration and began demolition immediately. Think of it like this: when a construction team begins a grand project, the first sound you hear isn't the gentle tapping of hammers, it's the roar of the bulldozer. Walls crumble before the skyline can rise. The same is true in the architecture of your reality. The job of the quantum field is not to decorate your old structure, but to dismantle it entirely so the blueprint you drafted in your moment of certainty has room to manifest. This is why it looks so still on the surface. The universe muffles its own chaos so you can survive the intensity of your rebirth. The quiet you call delay is really mercy. It is the softening of frequencies so the shattering of your old self doesn't rupture your nervous system. You may not hear the drilling, but it's there inside you, rewriting the code of your cells. Every forgotten memory, every outdated belief, every relationship anchored in a frequency of lack is being quietly unbolted and carried away. What you call loneliness is the evacuation of energy that no longer fits your expanding design. And when you feel that ache that asks, why does everything I knew feel so far away? Remember, this distance is the space required for new foundations. You can't pour fresh cement where the debris still stands. The universe must clear the site first. So the next time you look at your life and see the empty lot, the dust, the absence of what once was, smile. The scaffolding of your next existence is already being measured. The blueprint isn't forgotten. It's pinned to the table of cosmic engineers who never sleep. But here's the paradox only masters learn. Your impatience doesn't speed the process, it halts it. The moment you doubt, you send the workers home. The moment you question, where is it, you collapse the very probability line that was bringing it closer. Silence is not your enemy, it's your collaborator. Imagine standing at that vacant lot at twilight, wind brushing through the hollow space where your old world used to stand. Close your eyes. Feel beneath your feet the vibration of distant machinery, subtle, relentless, sacred. That's the sound of your destiny under construction. So trust the quiet. Every atom of that silence is scaffolding your future. The paradox remains: the less you see, the more is being done. And yet, even as you stand on that quiet lot, breathing the dust of your own becoming, something ancient stirs in your mind, the observer, the part of you trained to measure, to compare, to demand proof before belief. It peers into the silence and whispers the oldest question in human language. Is it really happening? That single doubt, that flicker of uncertainty, is more than thought. It is command. The quantum field doesn't read your words, it reads your state. Each moment of disbelief collapses infinite potential into the narrow shape of what you already know. You've seen this pattern before, that instant when everything felt aligned, radiant, perfect, and then the next day, nothing. You told yourself, it must have been in my head. But what if it wasn't the universe that changed, but your observation that reversed the wave? You see, the field responds with mechanical precision to focus. Whatever you look for, you amplify. If you scan your world for absence, you expand absence. If you look for evidence of the new, even when invisible, you accelerate its materialization. This is the core dilemma of every architect of reality: how to keep seeing what hasn't yet arrived without collapsing it back into the familiar. Consider how a scientist observes a subatomic particle. It flickers in and out of being, depending on measurement. Your consciousness is the same instrument. Every emotional reaction, every doubt, every surge of impatience is a recalibration of your observation, steering the unfolding universe back toward your comfort zone of repetition. That's why silence feels like betrayal. It tempts you to measure too soon. You go to check the progress, but the act of checking resets the build. Like a gardener who digs up the seed to see if it's growing, you interrupt the miracle mid-germination. The soil doesn't answer questions. It responds to faith. So what is mastery? It's learning to observe without interference. It's the art of holding the vision steady while your senses scream contradiction. This doesn't mean blind optimism, it means precision awareness. A scientist of consciousness who knows that stillness doesn't equal stagnation. Try this experiment. Instead of asking, "Where is it?" ask, "What frequency am I holding right now?" Feel into the subtle hum inside your chest, the temperature of your faith. Does it buzz with quiet certainty or tremble with doubt? That feeling is your construction report. The stronger your trust, the faster the invisible bricks stack themselves. In this new architecture, the observer is both builder and saboteur. You must choose your role daily. The quantum field doesn't punish you, it mirrors you. Look at the mirror with panic, and it freezes. Look with calm recognition, and it flows. Imagine your timeline as a river suspended in midair. Every thought sends ripples that determine where it lands. Your attention is gravity. Fix it upon the lack, and the river bends back to the desert. Fix it upon the unseen masterpiece, and it rains down as manifestation. This is why silence exists, to train your observation beyond sight, to make you less dependent on feedback, more attuned to resonance. When you master that, you no longer chase evidence, you generate it. You no longer ask the universe to prove itself, you become the proof. Breathing quietly in the middle of an empty lot that only you can see is already complete. And in that moment, when you stop searching for confirmation, you'll hear it, a subtle pulse beneath the stillness. A reminder that the field is listening, waiting for the stability of your belief to resume construction. Your job, then, is simple but not easy. See without demanding to see. Hold the invisible as tenderly as you would a newborn star. That is how you collapse possibility into form, through unwavering observation that transcends evidence. And from that still act of observation, the true test begins. The architect's trial. The paradox of knowing the plan by heart, yet standing knee-deep in rubble with no visible sign of progress. You've seen the blueprint, you've touched its promise in your meditations, but day after day, the site remains barren. And this waiting, it gnaws at you. Here's the secret few admit: impatience is not weakness, it's the pressure of expansion. The friction of two realities colliding, the one that has already formed in the unseen and the one still dissolving before your eyes. That ache in your chest isn't failure. It's the sound of the old foundation cracking under the weight of what's trying to emerge. Imagine the moment before a new star ignites. Gravity crushes matter inward until it can't compress any further. Then suddenly it erupts into light. Your frustration is that gravitational collapse, the universe folding in on itself to reach ignition. You are feeling the tension of creation mid-birth. But the mind doesn't like contractions. It wants instant arrival. It mistakes pressure for punishment, latency for rejection. So it panics, labeling the silence as abandonment. That's when many abandon the project altogether. They walk off the site before the first floor rises. The visionary becomes the skeptic, and the dream remains blueprint dust. The trial, then, is endurance, not of time, but of vibration. Can you hold your alignment long enough for reality to match it? Can you stay serene while your senses still echo the old world? The greater the structure you're birthing, the heavier the silence that surrounds it. Picture yourself at the edge of that empty lot again. Wind stinging your eyes, uncertainty pressing against your ribs. Around you, nothing but quiet dust. And yet, beneath your feet, deep below the soil, the foundations are being poured. Every breath you take in patience adds another layer of concrete. Every moment you resist the urge to despair, another pillar locks into place. Think of the great cathedrals, how many lifetimes they required. How many builders never saw the spire completed. Still, each carved stone was laid in faith. You, too, are building across lifetimes. Your spirit remembers how to wait without wavering. So when doubt whispers that you've imagined it all, answer softly, no, I am witnessing demolition. When the world mocks your stillness, smile. Only those who have never built something eternal mistake noise for progress. Here is where you graduate from student to master. The architect's trial isn't about building faster, it's about becoming unshakable. The real foundation isn't under the soil, it's in your nervous system, in your breath, in your refusal to betray what you know for what you can see. Hold your inner line, speak gently to yourself. The silence is scaffolding, the pressure is precision. Every unanswered prayer, every quiet dawn is a hidden worker tightening bolts you'll never see, but will one day stand upon. And when that ache resurfaces because it will, don't suppress it. Feel it as proof that something vast is pushing to be born. Breathe into it like an architect running fingers over marble, knowing the cracks reveal where light will eventually enter. You were never waiting for the universe to move. The universe was waiting for you to stop doubting its motion. Endure this latency like a storm you've already outlasted. Because in truth, you have. The collapse is coming. not as punishment, but as culmination. And as you endure that pressure, something begins to shift. The rubble beneath your feet quiets. The ache in your chest softens into curiosity. The silence that once felt suffocating now feels alive, almost intelligent. You start to sense that behind the veil of inactivity, a mind older than time, wiser than logic, is shaping something with exquisite care. This is where the architect becomes the sculptor. Creation moves from blueprint to artistry. The demolition is complete. Now comes the slow, reverent shaping of form. Imagine the universe standing before the block of your reality like a master sculptor before marble. It doesn't rush, it doesn't chisel randomly just to prove it's working. It walks around the stone, feeling its contours, studying the veins of possibility. The silence between each strike of the hammer is where the masterpiece begins to emerge. So many of you mistake that silence for idleness. You cry out, "Why can't I see movement?" But movement without precision is chaos. The sculptor knows that a single careless strike can shatter the entire form. That's why the universe waits. That's why it hums instead of hammers. If you listen closely, you'll feel it, the vibration beneath the stillness. The hum is not emptiness, it's calibration, a communion between your higher self and the cosmic artisan. Each breath you take in trust gives the sculptor permission to continue. Each move of impatience sends a tremor through the marble, risking fractures that would need to be repaired before progress can resume. Silence, then, is not absence, it's alignment. The sculptor cannot hear your plea over the noise of your doubt. But when you fall still, when your inner world quiets enough for precision, you'll notice how your life rearranges itself in subtle, almost imperceptible gestures. A chance meeting, a sudden insight, a dream that feels more like memory than fantasy. These are the early strikes of the chisel. The masterpiece is revealing itself, not all at once, but in contours. Think of Michelangelo's words. He said he didn't carve the statue, he freed it from the stone. The universe is doing the same with you. Every delay, every unanswered call, every closed door is not punishment, it's subtraction. The removal of everything that isn't truth. You may feel stripped bare during this stage. Relationships fade, desires dissolve. Identities you thought were permanent crumble into dust. But that is grace in disguise. The sculptor cannot reveal the angel if it clings to the stone. When the silence feels endless, remind yourself art takes time because beauty resists haste. You are being shaped into symmetry, and that demands patience. So, in this phase, do less. Listen more. When you meditate, don't beg for answers, become the marble. Let the tools of creation move around you, through you. Feel how the pressure of each unseen strike reveals new lines of strength beneath your surface. At some point, and you'll know, when the sculptor will stop, the tools will rest, and there will be another kind of silence, not the silence of latency, but of reverence, the kind of quiet that fills a room when a masterpiece is complete, but the unveiling has not yet begun. This is where you stand now. The tarp still covers the statue, and no one can see what's underneath. But you can feel its pulse. You can sense the shape of glory waiting to be revealed. Do not rush the unveiling. That, too, is part of the ritual. For when the cloth is lifted, it won't just be your new life the world sees. It will be the precision of the universe's devotion, the proof that silence was never stillness. It was the sound of God breathing between chisel strikes. From that divine stillness, a realization unfolds like dawn creeping across the marble. The silence wasn't a pause at all. It was proportional. The deeper your dream, the wider the quiet must stretch to hold it. The sculptor steps back, measuring scale against eternity, and you begin to understand the latency you cursed is the equation that protects the architecture of greatness. There's a hidden law beneath manifestation, one too simple for most minds to trust. Magnitude equals latency. The larger the command, the longer the silence required to stabilize it. Ask the universe for a spark, and it answers in seconds. Ask for a star, and the cosmos must rearrange entire constellations. It's not resistance, it's coordination. You wanted more than comfort. You wanted legacy, transcendence, impact that ripples through timelines. That's not a wish, that's a quantum engineering project. Imagine two requests echoing into the field. One asks for a cup of coffee, the other for a cathedral. The coffee requires a minor rerouting. Someone forgets their mug. A barista glances up. A chance meeting fulfills the loop. Minutes. But the cathedral, that's an orchestration of centuries. Architects, masons, generations of hands building layer upon layer of faith into stone. The delay isn't denial, it's scale management. Your dream, too, has a weight that bends space-time. The universe must excavate not only circumstance but identity. It must clear entire karmic grids, dissolve patterns, rewrite neural signatures, and rearrange probability threads so vast they stretch beyond a single lifetime. You didn't ask for an object, you asked for evolution. And so, the latency expands. Silence becomes scaffolding for magnitude. You think nothing's moving, but everything is moving all at once, like galaxies negotiating their dance so no orbit collides. Here's what few dare to admit: your impatience is sacred fuel, but misdirected. When transmuted into faith, it powers the acceleration. When fed to doubt, it short-circuits creation. The equation demands emotional precision. Peace is construction material. Anxiety is demolition dust. So test this in your own life. Remember the time something small manifested quickly. Why? Because it didn't require you to become someone new. The latency of miracles is always the latency of identity shift. You're not just manifesting an outcome, you're manifesting the version of yourself capable of living in that outcome without collapsing it. That's the real secret. The field isn't waiting for divine timing, it's waiting for resonance. When who you are now matches the vibration of what you asked for, the delay ends instantly. The building opens its doors, the cathedral lights its candles. Time obeys coherence. Look closer at the silence surrounding you. It's not empty space. It's a tuning chamber. The stillness is recalibrating you. It's stretching your nervous system to handle the voltage of the life you ordered. That's why things feel delayed. They're being built to withstand eternity, not convenience. You can rush a house, but you can't rush a kingdom. The foundations must be seismic proof, not weekend ready. So if your manifestation feels slow, whisper this equation like a mantra. Latency equals magnitude. The longer the universe pauses, the grander the structure being raised in your name. The quiet is the measure of significance. And when impatience rises, smile. It means the magnitude is growing beyond what you first imagined. The silence is not a void. It's the breathing space of creation expanding to meet your command. Let that realization settle in your bones. Every unchanging day, every unanswered prayer, every moment that seems barren is proof of the cathedral under construction. It's not waiting for your permission, it's waiting for your stability. You asked for a timeline collapse, and that requires quantum precision. Before your skyscraper can rise, space-time must fold itself to align with your new coordinates. That's not a miracle delayed. That's a universe recalibrating its laws for you. And somewhere in the deep quiet between your breaths, you can already hear it, the faint, rhythmic pulse of destiny assembling. And from that rhythmic pulse of destiny assembling, another role awakens within you, no longer the architect, no longer the sculptor, but the guardian, the keeper of signal, the one who stands between the visible and invisible and ensures the vibration never falters. Because here's what most forget: the universe doesn't need your help to build. It needs your coherence to continue. You're not the laborer, you're the foreman of frequency, the lighthouse guiding unseen hands across the fog of time. Every project of light requires supervision, not in effort, but in presence. The stillness you once cursed was actually the job description for your new identity. To be guardian means to hold the field unwavering, no matter how contradictory appearances become. Picture this. The cosmic construction is underway, but it responds to your emotional weather. Each sigh of doubt sends tremors through the scaffolding. Each moment of serenity stabilizes the beams. The field is sentient, mirroring your every pulse. That's why impatience halts progress. It muddies the blueprint signal. So you must master what I call the no-look protocol. It's the discipline of refusing to measure absence. You don't deny reality, you transcend the reflex to check if it's working. Because every time you look for proof, you collapse the potential back into the old configuration. The seed dies in the soil because you couldn't stop digging it up to see if it sprouted. Instead, the guardian looks inward. You feel the pulse, not the proof. You measure progress not by sight, but by stability. You train your nervous system to interpret calm as confirmation. When the urge to check arises, you breathe and re-anchor into the frequency of completion. That's the communication the universe understands. This protocol isn't denial, it's sovereignty. The old self was addicted to reassurance, addicted to evidence. The guardian doesn't need validation because they've replaced curiosity with command. You no longer ask, "Is it coming?" You declare it's constructing. Each moment of sustained peace sends truckloads of quantum material to the site. Confidence delivers steel, joy delivers glass, gratitude delivers gold. The silence between is not absence, it's assembly. The foreman of faith stands still, knowing that movement within is movement enough. But being guardian also means vigilance. Doubt is a subtle trespasser. It disguises itself as logic, as realism, as protection from disappointment. Yet its true motive is delay. When it knocks, you answer with stillness. You say, "I see you, and I choose stability." And instantly, the construction resumes. There will be days when your faith flickers, when you feel like shouting at the sky for updates. Those are the days you're being tested not for patience, but for power. Power over your focus, power over the emotional levers that command the quantum crew. Guardianship is an act of emotional engineering. You become the firewall between chaos and coherence. The higher your serenity, the stronger the signal beamed into creation. And yes, this requires endurance, the kind that feels like invisibility training. Weeks, months, sometimes years of silence. But the silence is the job. The quiet is the workshop where trust is forged into mastery. So stand firm at the edge of your reality's construction site. Look not at what's missing, but at what's morphing beneath perception. Repeat the silent creed of the guardian. I am not waiting. I am overseeing. I am not hoping. I am transmitting. The universe builds where I am steady. Every calm breath sends another beam of light rising through dimensions. Every night you choose trust over panic. Another floor completes itself in the skyscraper of your becoming. Guard the field, friend. The silence isn't proof of absence, it's the sacred echo of a universe following your blueprint to the letter. And from that vigil of stillness, a subtler revelation dawns. Time itself begins to bend. The clock that once taunted you now hums in synchronization. What once felt like a waiting room becomes a corridor of mastery. The guardian learns that time was never the obstacle. It was the collaborator, shaping patience into power. You see, when the untrained mind meets delay, it calls it punishment. But when the awakened architect meets the same delay, it calls it preparation. Time is not against you, it's adjusting to hold the weight of your command. The latency is the universe's way of stretching space, so the magnitude of your creation doesn't collapse under its own brilliance. And this is where you begin to understand that your role as guardian requires not only faith, but rhythm. You must learn to dance with time, to let its steps guide rather than hinder you. The secret is to stop counting moments and start filling them. Because the universe doesn't measure progress by days, it measures density of belief. This is where the practice of future evidence journaling becomes your alchemy. Most people write to dream, but you will write to remember. Instead of recording desires as distant hopes, you document them as fulfilled events. You write from the endpoint backward, as if you are reminiscing a miracle that already occurred. Imagine opening your journal tomorrow morning and writing, "I remember the day everything shifted. I remember how calm the air felt, how ordinary the miracle seemed." Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between memory and manifestation. The more vividly you recall the future, the more the field collapses it into your present. You're no longer pleading, you're programming. The act of remembering what hasn't yet happened teaches time to rearrange itself around your certainty. Every entry becomes a declaration. It is done. I was there. I lived it already. This transforms your relationship with latency. You stop waiting for proof and start producing it. You stop being a bystander and become a temporal sculptor, molding hours into evidence of alignment. But this requires vigilance. The ego will try to reclaim control. It will whisper, "You're pretending." Yet even that is part of the ritual. Pretending is the bridge between vibration and embodiment. What begins as imagination becomes habitation. When you live as if, long enough, the field cannot resist mirroring you. Time will bend, circumstances will rearrange, and synchronicities will align so flawlessly they will feel scripted. But that's the paradox. You wrote the script all along. And so, each dawn becomes less a countdown and more a checkpoint. You wake not to see if the miracle came, but to observe which part of it has materialized overnight. You begin to notice subtle convergences, a message, a coincidence, a sudden ease in something that used to be stuck. That's the field responding in real time to your stabilization. And when nothing obvious occurs, you no longer flinch. You smile, knowing that invisibility is part of the calibration sequence. Just as a seed germinates underground, your manifestation matures beneath perception. Eventually, you stop tracking time altogether. You measure progress by peace. You measure alignment by the quiet in your chest, not the movement of clocks. The moment you no longer need to see it to believe it. Time concedes. It yields, folding into your rhythm. So let time work for you, not against you. Let each second become an artisan, laying golden tiles along your timeline. Every moment you spend in gratitude, you are shortening the distance between now and arrival. You have stepped out of waiting and into supervision. You have replaced the ache of when with the authority of already. And the more you live from completion, the less time resists you. Because time is loyal, it obeys coherence. When the guardian learns this dance, the silence becomes music. The pauses become proof. The waiting becomes worship. And the very thing you once feared delay becomes the brushstroke of destiny, painting your timeline into perfect alignment. And from that dance with time, a vibration begins to tremble through the silence, a low, resonant hum beneath the fabric of your days. Something is gathering momentum, quietly, invisibly, like the pressure before a storm. You've held the frequency long enough. The architecture is complete. The field has reached critical mass. Then without fanfare, without countdown, it happens. The collapse, not a destruction, but a revelation, a sudden implosion of probabilities as your old timeline folds in on itself and vanishes into light. One instant you're standing in the ghost of your former life, the next, you're breathing air that feels newly charged, as if the molecules themselves recognize you. Reality doesn't shift gradually, it pivots. Everything that once resisted begins to yield. Everything that felt distant clicks into place. The demolition wasn't a metaphor after all, it was physics. The universe had been running two timelines in parallel, the old frequency you were outgrowing, and the new one building behind the veil. When coherence reached its threshold, they collided and only one could remain. You feel it as a snap, a vertigo, a sudden clarity that leaves no trace of the person who waited. Doors open that were welded shut. Conversations take turns you couldn't have scripted. Even the light in your room feels different, sharper, as though space itself has exhaled. This is what the ancients called revelation, the unveiling. To the untrained eye, it looks like coincidence. To the awakened one, it's a cosmic ribbon-cutting ceremony. The skyscraper stands complete where the cabin once rotted, and every cell in your body whispers, "I knew this would happen," but the collapse is not gentle. The old structure doesn't drift away, it implodes. Relationships that once felt stable dissolve overnight. Habits vanish, identities crack. The echo of who you were shatters like glass beneath the new frequency. And yet, amid that chaos, you feel peace. The silence that used to frighten you now returns as music, a thunderous applause from the unseen crew who followed your blueprint flawlessly. The implosion isn't loss, it's delivery. It's the final phase of the latency paradox, the moment potential becomes presence. Watch how the external world scrambles to reorganize itself around your new signal. Events align with mathematical precision. Synchronicities surge. People who once didn't see you now orbit your light as if pulled by gravity. You are witnessing space-time rethread itself through your consciousness. Do not mistake the noise for danger. Every great implosion is followed by stillness, an awe so complete it feels holy. Stand in it. Look around at the new structure of your life, fresh connections, unexplainable ease, opportunities emerging from void. This is your cathedral completed. But there's a secret within the collapse, something few realize. You are not crossing into the new world. The new world has crossed into you. The external rearrangement was only the echo. The real shift happened the moment you refused to doubt during silence. That was when the wave collapsed. That was the ignition point. The quantum field doesn't reward patience, it responds to embodiment. You became the reality long before you witnessed it, and now the reflection has no choice but to match. As dust settles from the implosion, you notice it's not just your environment that's transformed, it's the texture of your awareness. Time feels slower, colors deeper, even gravity softer. You're walking through the corridor of your own creation, and everything greets you like an old friend. This is what the latency was for the meticulous synchronization between who you are and what surrounds you. Anything less coherent would have shattered on arrival. So breathe deeply. The silence has ended, but its song remains. The delay you once cursed was never denial. It was divine engineering. Your old timeline has collapsed. Friend, welcome to the frequency of fulfillment. The universe has finished your order to specification and right on cosmic time. And from the dust of that collapse, the air shimmers thinner, lighter, charged with new gravity. You stand where the old world once stood. The foundations beneath your feet solid yet unfamiliar. The cathedral of your becoming towers above you now, radiant with the light of completion. But this, paradoxically, is where the true journey begins. For manifestation was never the end. It was initiation. You've spent lifetimes learning to build, to command, to hold vibration steady until the structure appeared. But now, as the echo of construction fades, you face a new question, the question that separates manifestors from masters. Can you live inside what you've built? You see, creation and habitation are different crafts. One demands faith in the unseen, the other consistency within the scene. Manifestation requires focus. Embodiment requires identity. It's no longer about summoning miracles. It's about sustaining them through alignment. The universe hands you the keys. They're heavy in your palm, humming with power. The door before you glows softly. You turn the handle and step through. Inside, everything gleams: space, light, possibility. Yet in that brilliance, an unease flickers. A quiet voice wonders, do I deserve this? That's the final remnant of the old self, lingering like a shadow at the threshold. You must meet it gently, not with denial, but with recognition. Every builder must become resident. Every architect must learn to live in the house they imagined. Walk slowly through your new reality. Notice how the air feels different, how the smallest moments shimmer with responsiveness. Your words carry weight now. Your emotions shape the geometry around you. The mirrors in this world don't just reflect your face, they reflect your frequency. This is sovereign embodiment, and it demands consciousness in every breath. So how do you inhabit your masterpiece? By treating it as home, not spectacle. Gratitude becomes furniture, discipline becomes architecture. Each morning, you align your thoughts as though sweeping the marble floors, clearing the dust of old programming before it settles. Each night, you rest not as a seeker, but as a ruler surveying their domain. Here's the irony: the stillness that once tested you remains, but now it's peace, not pause. The same silence that used to terrify you is the hum of equilibrium. Latency has transformed into resonance. The weight has become a way of life, an elegant stillness from which creation now flows effortlessly. Because once the skyscraper stands, it doesn't strive to prove its height. It simply is. You've entered that phase now, the quiet majesty of being. Your new challenge is to maintain coherence not in pursuit, but in possession, to ensure the frequency that built the reality remains the same one that sustains it. So you wake each day and speak softly to the walls of your creation. We are one. You make decisions from the penthouse of awareness, not the basement of fear. You no longer ask, will this last? You know that permanence is proportional to presence, and slowly, the question that haunted you, when will it happen, fades into irrelevance. The only question left is, who am I within this now? This is the graduation from latency to legacy. The field no longer responds to requests. It responds to emanation. You don't manifest anymore, you radiate. Your life becomes the signal through which others learn to build. Your silence becomes sermon. Your stability a living blueprint. So step fully into habitation. Sit on the throne of your creation, not with arrogance, but with awe. Every miracle you birthed is waiting for your recognition. The universe has delivered the structure, now it's your turn to fill it with consciousness, compassion, and command. The latency paradox has served its purpose. The silence has fulfilled its vow. You are no longer the architect, nor the guardian, nor the builder. You are the living cathedral, the intersection of creation and creator. And when you breathe in this new reality, do you feel it? The hum hasn't vanished. It lives inside you now, a constant sacred reminder that the universe never stopped working because it was always working through you. And as that hum settles into your heartbeat, the rhythm slows. The air grows gentle again, and the echo of collapse fades into a quiet, so pure it feels like completion itself. You realize this is not the end of a journey. It's the still point that all journeys return to, the axis around which all timelines spin. Look around your new world. Everything gleams with a kind of sacred ordinariness. The walls don't sing, they breathe. The silence that once frightened you now feels like companionship. Time no longer drags or races, it listens. You've made peace with its tempo. You've learned that every pause was a promise kept in disguise. Take a breath. Let it deepen. You've become the architect, the sculptor, the guardian, and the inhabitant all at once. You've proven what the universe always whispered, that latency isn't delay, it's devotion, that the space between desire and arrival was never empty, but full of unseen hands preparing your throne. Now, you live where silence speaks and stillness creates. The blueprint is no longer on a table in the quantum field. It's encoded in your pulse. The world around you rearranges in real time to match your interior coherence. You've crossed the threshold from commanding to becoming. From this place, creation is effortless. You don't call things forth. You radiate them. Every thought is an architect's pencil sketching light into form. Every word you utter leaves an imprint in the geometry of your atmosphere. You are no longer building skyscrapers. You are building atmospheres of peace. But before you move forward, pause here a little longer. Feel gratitude ripple through you like a tide. For the demolition that hurt, for the silence that tested, for the latency that stretched you wider than you believed you could bear. All of it was precision. All of it was grace disguised as emptiness. And now, as you breathe in this quiet completion, remember, manifestation is not a miracle that happens to you. It's a law that happens through you. You are both the cause and the consequence, the question and the answer, the hum and the silence that follows. So carry this awareness lightly. Walk through the days ahead as one who knows that the universe doesn't owe them proof, it mirrors their peace. Let every still morning remind you that the machinery of creation is still turning in your favor, quietly, beautifully, faithfully. If there's a call to action here, it isn't to reach, chase, or strive. It's simply this: stay coherent, stay calm, keep the silence sacred, because the same field that built your new world is already listening for your next command. And when you're ready, whenever that may be, speak again, not with urgency, but with reverence, because now you know every word is a blueprint, every breath a foundation, and every moment of silence the sound of God still building.